Hello and welcome to Mystic Visions with DrShiny. This is a monthly tarot card reading for Leo for the month of April. So hello my Leo friends. And this is a general reading, so this is not going to, of course, apply to every single person. But if you would like some additional clarification or guidance, as long as you are a subscriber, if you request in the comments, I will be happy to draw a couple extra cards just for you. So if that's something you're interested in, just let me know. And let's go ahead and get to your reading. So for Leo, we have Page of Wands. Okay. Okay. So your Page of Wands in the reverse position there in the middle is a little bit of a... the Page of Wands in the upright can be like some good news, a herald of good news. He looks like he's announcing something. And so in the upright, you're a little resistant to that, to the news. So it could be that you don't want bad news, right? You are trying to essentially keep your head above water, or to keep things going forward in a sort of positive way. Or it could be that you have received some bad news and it's got you feeling a little bit down or something like that. But what's crossing you or influencing you is this Ace of Coins, which is like a new opportunity for a business or a financial thing. So the way these two things kind of work together is you are very carefully nurturing some new opportunity or something, and you don't want it to fall through. You're anxiously waiting for this thing to work out, and you're trying not to have it fail, or to have it be a non-starter. So what you're moving away from here is the moon. Very interesting interplay between these cards here. The moon being in what you're moving away from, and the star being what you're moving toward. Very cool interplay there. So the moon, it represents the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen. And also, this is what feeds the subconscious and the intuition and all this. So you kind of had to feel your way through things in the past, and you're moving away from that a little bit and moving toward this star energy. So in the star, the lady here is pouring out two pictures, and one of them has a sun on it and one of them has the moon. So she's giving up both the conscious and the subconscious, and essentially becoming unified with the universe, and unified universe. How about that? But she is trusting. She has a lot of faith that things are working toward this larger plan. She doesn't worry about her intuition giving her false signals and all this type of thing. And she also is not worried about thinking her way through things with the conscious mind so much. So she's just pouring all that out and saying, you know what, everything has a purpose. Everything is happening for a reason. So, even though the moon comes after the star, you could look at that as a little bit more of a advanced type of a mindset than the moon, in that you're feeling more trustful and feeling more able to have faith, to have a wonderful mentality. Now, but the reason that the moon comes after that star, in succession, numerical succession, is because having that attitude of the star allows you to dive into that realm of the moon, which is that unknown, and to codify what's going on in there, which can be sometimes scary and unusual and alarming. But if you have this attitude of faith that everything's going to work out, you won't be quite as upset by the things that you see in that subconscious. You're more primed to allow the subconscious to spill over into the conscious mind. All right. So now you're moving in a little bit of the opposite direction here, where you've already been dealing with that unknown and you've made good friends with your intuition and everything. And now you're moving toward a place of being a little bit more open and trusting. And that's okay. There's no right way to do this. You know, we all have our own path. There's a reason those two different cards can come up in this order. Not that they have to be in a particular order. Now, the foundation of this situation is this Nine of Coins. This represents kind of like, what is the overall message here, or what is the universe trying to teach you through this situation, or what's going on? And the Nine of Coins represents a great deal of material, financial success, but it also has with it this ability of stepping back from everything that you've done from all this success, and surveying and taking it all in and appreciating it. But it also has a challenge that comes with it, which is pushing forward to completion, to having this thing finalized, instead of just getting to a point where you've had some success and so you're like letting off of the accelerator a little bit. So there's a challenge with it, but that doesn't mean you can skip this step altogether. It does take time for you to come to a realization of what a great thing that you have. You have to be able to fairly and objectively, to a degree, analyze what you've done and what you've completed, and if it's something that is incredibly valuable for you, then you have to be able to push forward with that to that final stage, that 10 of Coins energy, which then will allow you to proceed on to those court cards where you're achieving a mastery of the material as a force and not just a particular situation, you know. So that's what's going on in your subconscious, meaning that you're having to find out the nature of how success works, and it's really not determined by the external circumstances so much as it is a part of you. And that's that message of that star, which is however you drive something, or however your mindset is directly correlated with the success of something. It all comes back to you. It's not just random circumstances that make something live or die. It's your own mindset. And so you have to be able to learn how to push. But to be able to learn how to push like that, you have to be able to have conviction in whatever you're doing. And that means being honest with yourself and knowing when things are not serving you, and moving forward from those. So all of these things are kind of working together. There's a conflux of different energies that are working together for a common goal here. Now, what's on your mind is this Seven of Wands, which means that you don't want to have to defend yourself, or you don't want to have to essentially, like, you know, maintain your image so much. You want to have a little bit more freedom, and that's a very wise thing to have in your mind, because whenever you're going through some new business endeavor or something like that, and you're anxious about how it's going to work out, you know, thinking about how other people are going to look at you is not productive. It doesn't do anything to help the situation work out better. And if anything, it actually makes it worse, because you become more nervous and less focused on the matters at hand, and it interferes. So it's a good thing for you to be resistant to this, to wanting to defend yourself and whatnot. You want to be essentially not afraid of failure, and somebody who marches to the beat of their own drum, right? And you have to be able to achieve that to get to this sort of star energy. And I should say, you know, you have the Nine of Cups as your overall message. So this is extremely positive reading. The Nine of Cups is also called the Wish card, which means that you have the ability to achieve whatever you put your mind to, or, you know, whatever you wish for. lot of great cards here. It's really quite impressive. So you have, for your advice, the Six of Coins. And the Six of Coins has kind of a dual meaning to it because there's two figures here. One of them is giving out of abundance, and the other one is receiving from other people. So on the, on one hand, that's two separate meanings, but on the other hand, if you're looking at the macrocosm, microcosm paradigm, as above, so below, both of these things are occurring simultaneously. If you are giving to another, then you have abundance, right? You're defining yourself as having abundance by being generous to other people. So it's kind of like, you could say it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse, but it's really not. It's how the universe works. Whenever you feel like you don't have enough to share or to give to other people, you are defining to yourself that you don't have enough, and the universe will oblige and make that your reality if that's what you're constantly focused on. Whereas if you are focused on generosity and having enough, then the universe will provide you with more, So that this is one piece of advice of having this sort of generous attitude of feeling abundance, having an abundance mindset instead of a scarcity mindset, which is important. And it doesn't mean to not be fiscally responsible, right? That's taking it too far. That's an imbalance in the other opposite direction. But if you don't maintain this idea that you have enough or that you have what you need, then you have a tendency to be constantly reinforcing the idea that you're never going to have enough, that you're never going to be enough, right? Then the other way that this card applies in your advice category is to not be afraid to ask for help, or to not be afraid to allow other people in on your dream here or whatever is trying to happen. You don't have to do it all yourself. You can rely on the abundance of others to essentially help you out on this journey. Now, what's in your environment is the world in the reverse. And the world is a card of completion of cycles. It's a card of completion of cycles, which generally means that like something has come full circle and it's time to move on. But what's happening here is it's in the reverse. So it means that like where everything could be finished, there could be a sort of like moving on and growing on to the next stage of life and everything. Somebody in your environment is a little resistant to that, or there's something that's standing in the way. There's like one last step that has not really been accomplished, and this is sort of outstanding, and it needs to happen for someone to move on. So you have to be careful with your environment card about like letting these types of energies rub off on you. Just because somebody else has not reached that stage of completion doesn't mean that you're not ready for it. So you have to maintain that ability in yourself, even when other people are not reflecting that. Okay, so what you have in your fears card is this Magician in the reverse. The Magician is a master manifester, so a perfect person to show up in this particular reading, because all of this has to do with your ability to manifest your dreams and wishes. However, with the upright position, this is basically saying that you're afraid of not being able to do the things that you want to do, of getting what you want. And that is the one thing that can kind of put a damper on your ability to manifest yourself, is not having the confidence that you can do it. So the attitude that you're looking to exemplify is that the universe is secretly conspiring to make everything that you want to happen. But you also have to like allow it to happen, and to not allow your desire to make you have too tight of a grip on things, because then you don't allow the universe to sort of work its magic and have like all these little shortcuts that you didn't even expect occur. If you're trying to constantly think all the time like make this happen, make this happen, make this happen, you are essentially not allowing the universe to do what it wants to do. You're trying to make it do what you want to do. And so if you look at the universe or reality as a, sentient being, if you let it do what it wants to do, it'll let you do what you want to do. Interesting, huh? So try to keep that in mind instead of trying to make it, trying to make things, trying to project your will onto things. It's about allowing the world around you to be at peace and serenity and all this, and what happens is naturally your true desires come bubbling forth. You don't have to force it. Things are going to happen of themselves. So, and again, going back to that final outcome or overall message, that Nine of Cups, and this again is the Wish card. Really, really cool card to come up, and I don't think it's come up in another reading yet for this month, but this one is the, make a wish. As soon as you see this card, make a wish, and think about what is it that you want most, and wishing on that star is something that in itself is an action of release and surrender, which is saying that I believe this can happen, and I'm putting it out there in the universe and having faith that it can, and I will allow things to work out the way that they want to. So interesting how this whole reading here has that same kind of cohesive message at the heart of it. But it's, I think, a very, very positive omen for you that you are on the right track to unlocking these pretty profound powers of manifestation, of being able to see your will done in the reality around you. And, it doesn't come without you having put in some good work to get to this point, or a good spiritual work, we'll put it that way. You have done inner growing, which has brought you to the point where it's going to pay off, or it has the ability to pay off. So bravo, you've done really well. So that's about it for this reading today. Again, please leave me some comments. Let me know what you liked and what you didn't like about the reading. And also, if you are a subscriber, I would be happy to read some cards that are specifically for your situation. So let me know if that's something you would like, and I will see you guys next month for your next reading. Bye-bye.